We will now proceed to panel 1 titled Health Tech Innovation in East Jerusalem. I would like to invite our moderator for this session, Mr. Avner Halpern, please. I will invite him. I would like to invite our panelists, Dr. Firas Abu Akar, Dr. Amnon Dekel, and Dr. Anan Qubti, and Dr. Michael Rosen.
Everyone, it's really an honor and a pleasure to be here to see such a great crowd and all of us joining on this winter rainy day to discuss innovation in Jerusalem. I'm Avner Halpern. I'm CEO of Sheba Impact, the commercialization and tech transfer arm of Sheba Medical Center. I'm really excited to have this outstanding panel with us. I'll let them each introduce themselves and answer a question in a second. But before we do that, just brief opening. You know, there is a unique opportunity to build collaboration and growth here in this Jerusalem. And I'm really excited and honored, and really it's our privilege to be part of this, I would say, path that's led by the Jinnovate team and by Mahmoud Quais, who's kind of the visionary behind it. We heard from Hanan right now, you know, a clear picture of how there is a need for better diversity and how there is a need for more innovation and growth. And the key challenge, of course, is in many cases education. Specifically when we look at Jinnovate and we look at healthcare and health innovation, that's the area where I think we are beyond that barrier, where we already have a very, very highly educated, I would say, workforce available in the Arab community in East Jerusalem in general. And that's why we in Sheba believe that healthcare and health innovation is the best and most advanced platform to accelerate the numbers that we saw from Hanan. So we're very proud to be part of that, and we are here, and I'll say on behalf of Sheba also, willing to support any innovation, any opportunity to collaborate and build bridges in the healthcare space, and come and talk to us and test us on this. So what I'll do now is I'll ask this outstanding panel a few questions, and then I will hand it over to you, the audience. So think of some tough, interesting, exciting questions you want to ask our experts here, and I'll hand it over to you after I ask them a few questions. So I'm going to start, and again, thank you for the panel. And I'm going to ask each of you, and I guess you're not sitting by the order of the pictures, but we'll go with the order of the way you're sitting. So we'll start with you, Dr. Amnon Dekel. If you can briefly introduce yourself and tell us, how are you connected to innovation in East Jerusalem?
Great, thank you very much. First of all, I'm very honored to be here, and very happy to see the turnout during this day, which has had some issues. So I run Asper Jinnovate, which is the Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship at the Hebrew University. We were funded initially in 2018 by a call for proposals by the Israeli government and the Ministry of Education. And one of the first things we asked ourselves is, what is our reason to be at the Hebrew University, since innovation is what all our researchers do when they get up in the morning. And what we quickly came to understand is that we are there to leverage the innovation potential that exists at the Hebrew University. Now, when we talk about East Jerusalem, so we've been doing some work, first of all, with youth in East Jerusalem over the last number of years, and we saw Hanan's graph earlier, and of course, if you don't build the basis from the bottom up, then you're not going to be able to reap the benefits going forward. I know that I have a little bit amount of time, so I will just say that we are trying to work with some of the Hebrew University graduate students, researchers, etc. And I'm happy to see that we have some graduates from one of our programs here, Akram and his brother right there, in order to basically ensure that anyone coming from East Jerusalem, anyone coming from Arabic-speaking culture, has all the opportunities within the Hebrew University to do that and to succeed in that. And in order to do that, we started by creating safe zones so they could start within their own cultural environment, speaking in their own language, and then only then, once they've gained that experience, push them forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Michal Rosenzweig, if you can introduce yourself and tell us what you do here.
Sure, thank you. I'm very, very happy to be here and to listen to all of these discussions today. My connection to this place and to the activity here goes back. I'm a director at IBM Research. I'm also a professor at the Hebrew University, the Faculty of Medicine. And I'm the chief scientist of the collaboration between IBM and Cleveland Clinic. And I was part of a group that took responsibility of educating and promoting the HealthTech society in Israel. And I was part of this board managing that and creating the syllabus of what do we want to bring to physicians in Israel in order to grow their capability to lead innovation. And then we heard about Jinnovate and the opportunity to bring it here. And I'm a strong believer, and I saw it very recently because I have a granddaughter that was born 10 days ago, that it takes a whole village to grow a child. And I'm sure that to grow this innovation center, it takes much more than a village. It takes many more people to contribute. And I'm very happy to be a small piece in this contribution.
Thank you very much. Okay, Dr. Anan Kopti.
Okay, good morning. It's great to be here. Maybe a little bit about myself. I was born in Jerusalem, and my parents are from the north. I grew up also in Bethlehem, so I have a little bit of knowledge about the ecosystem in Jerusalem, in Nazareth, in Tel Aviv, Ramallah. And so I am also the founder of a medical device startup company that's developing a device to treat solid cancer tumors. And I spent a long time, a big part of my life in the US as well. I worked at the Harvard Medical School and physics labs, etc. I have a PhD from the Hebrew University. And also one of the founders of JEST, which was the Entrepreneur Center for East Jerusalem entrepreneurs. And I'm also active with Jinnovate and other groups. So I look forward to this discussion.
Okay, so Anan, you kind of represent the entrepreneurs here in this region. We'll look to you to give us your perspective. Yeah. Dr. Firas.
Well, first of all, thank you for the invitation. I would like to thank Jafar and all the organizers for the invitation. My name is Firas Abakar. I'm a thoracic surgeon. I'm working now in Warsaw Medical Center in Poland. Regarding your question, well, as someone who was born and raised in East Jerusalem, and as a surgeon who at some point built a department in the eastern side of the city and also worked at the same time in the western part of the city, so it gave me a view of the exact situation of the health system in the city, and I can really identify with this experience the points of weakness and advantages of each system, I mean the Israeli and Palestinian one. And maybe this will surprise some people that my strongest and best publications and researches, it came from the eastern part of the city. I mean, through my work, I've been exposed and met very talented people who are eager to work. They are very motivated, but at the same time, we have a problem with the infrastructure. We have a problem with the funding, with the support, with the mentoring. So if we invest a little bit in the eastern part of the city with the proper way, I think we can get so far in Jerusalem.
Okay, so maybe, thank you very much for that, Dr. Abakar. I think we'll stay with you and we'll work our way back, and really you talk about the research that you have done here and elsewhere. We want to see what can we do more in innovation here in East Jerusalem. Where do you see the opportunity? You started talking about it now and investing in infrastructure, but what else needs to be done so we see much, when we meet here in a year or 5 years, we'll see much more innovation here in East Jerusalem?
Investing in people. I mean, we have people.
Yeah,
You hear me
closer.
now?
Yeah, closer to the mic.
Yeah, I can see East Jerusalem is a place with a very rich human potential. People are eager to do things and to innovate. But again, the problem is in the infrastructure, in the communications, to getting to the right sources to start the project. And this is what we need to focus on, to connect people and to support connecting people with the innovators and the companies.
Excellent. Anand, how do you see that in terms of what can we do more to promote innovation here? You see the same way or other things we should do?
So I think the first thing that we need to have is not just entrepreneurship, but entrepreneurship. In other words, people who take their ideas from A to Z with a strong commitment and strong call to action. So, there's a lot of startups that last for a few months or a year and then disappear, and that's not what entrepreneurship is about. You have to have a strong commitment. So I think that's, first of all, talent comes later, and we do have lots of talent. It's just that people don't have the opportunity to express that talent. I have a lot of students or students who graduated from Birzeit University, Azrieli, and other places who work with me. They're very talented, it's just that they never had the chance to express that. And so you need the right people, the right motivation, the right attitude of innovation to push that forward. And I think we sometimes miss or underestimate the value of a lot of our engineers and doctors that can do great things. So there are missing parts of the puzzle that need to complete the whole picture. But if you have that committed entrepreneurship attitude, I think that's the most important part, and then everything else will fall in place as you go.
Thank you. Dr. Michal Kozensky.
I completely second the importance of investing in people and the commitment of VCs and funds. I'm a strong believer in inspiring young people to get far. I witnessed what bringing a quantum computer physically into the hospital of Cleveland Clinic made to the surrounding. So a student from a low socioeconomic background who saw the quantum computer got inspired, high school student, and wrote programs to this computer. I think many of the people are not aware that a lot of technology has been democratized these days. Every one of you can go online, learn courses, and write code to a quantum computer of IBM and maybe others, and put the algorithm to run and get the results. Because these technologies have been made available, of course, with AI and all of these agents and agentic systems that use AI and work for you. The RAF is much lower. You don't have to know the language that well in order to be able to contribute and think and read and learn. So I think the mission is to get the young people in this area inspired by the opportunities, and the rest will come.
So should we try to bring a quantum computer here to East Jerusalem, or we don't need one?
You just need the money. So.
Just need the money to have access to it. Okay.
No, to have access, you have for free.
So people here, anyone here can access a quantum computer and do and
it's
write
a whole
software
different
for?
story. Like quantum computer quality is measured by the number of qubits.
Yes.
So for low number of qubits, everybody can have access. It might be to a simulator that simulates how the computer looks like. Everybody can have access, and IBM made it. You just write quantum IBM, you get to the front page, you can do it, you can learn courses. It's very realistic for young people to go and learn. But if you want a very strong computer, there are things that maybe classical computer cannot, that's a whole different story.
So we'll talk to the Innovation Authority outside to fund one of those. That will be our next discussion. Go ahead.
So I agree with everything that's been said here up till now, so I'm just going to add an additional point. I think that social infrastructure is important, physical infrastructure is important. I think we also need cultural infrastructure for entrepreneurship. And one of the hardest things to do, if we're talking about the village, is to enable people to fail. And as we know, entrepreneurship is a place where you are going to fail in many cases. So you need to enable the village to not see failure as something that's going to cancel you out.
That's great. Thank you very much. And again, one thing I mentioned in the opening is the opportunity to build bridges and collaborate. And one of the strength of healthcare is that in many cases it transcends politics, and health innovation sometimes allows us to do, I would say, wider-ranging collaborations in the region. So I think we all agree that East Jerusalem is uniquely located and positioned to be a bridge between the different, I would say, communities in the Middle East. And what I want to ask our panel now is, where do you see the opportunities in East Jerusalem to expand collaboration across the Middle East into other areas in Israel, into other countries in the Middle East? How do you see that opportunity? Go ahead.
So East Jerusalem is not a simple place, as we all know. It's got a few problems, I think we all agree, in the context. But I see East Jerusalem as a substantial and very big gateway. If we're talking about Israel, if we're talking about the India, Middle East, European corridor, that is a really strategic and important a project that is hopefully continuing and happening, then I believe that East Jerusalem is a gateway that will enable Israel to be an important part of these types of things.
Michal?
I don't have much to add. I completely agree. It's a huge opportunity, and the ecosystem in Israel is very strong in the sense of providing a lot of opportunities. I see the international large companies come to Israel to learn about what you can do in innovation. So it's a great opportunity, and with the right connections and growth, with the Abraham agreements. And I've been in Abu Dhabi, in Mohammed bin MZBUAI, the University of AI in the Emirates, which brings a lot of innovation and seeks for opportunities for Israeli students. And I think there would be more. You mentioned the Saudi Arabia. I've been talking with them through my connections in IBM. There's a lot of openness and looking up into what Israel can bring. And I completely agree that what is being done here is a great hope for growth that will benefit from the diversity we can have.
Anan, you're an entrepreneur here in East Jerusalem, and you have to consider which markets you're going to target. Is it the U.S. market? Is it the Gulf? Who will you partner with? People in Israel, in the Gulf, in the U.S.? How do you see that?
Well, it really depends on what market you're targeting. For example, if you're in the financial market and you want to go to the UAE, I think that's a great opportunity. But for someone like us in the medical field, the U.S. remains number one. I mean, U.S. is where it's all happening, and particular locations in the U.S. For example, Boston is known to be the number one location for medical device companies. So part of my company is going back and forth to the U.S. But each one has to, find their own challenge. I think a lot of the East Jerusalem, we have a lot of great talent. You see it all over the Middle East, in Jordan, in the UAE, in Saudi. Now it's opening up the markets. So the advantage of being in East Jerusalem is that you can go both places. So you can utilize that opportunity to go to markets that haven't been really tapped into, and I've seen a lot of talent that has come out of Jerusalem, whether it's in the medical field, in the computer software development, etc. So again, just depends on where what market you're targeting.
Yeah, I'll push you a bit further. I mean, you're developing a very exciting device to treat cancer, and so how do you make a decision? When you collaborate with academic centers where you raise talent, do you do it from the Israeli ecosystem? Do you go to the West Bank? Do you go to the Gulf? How do you make those decisions?
Wherever the opportunity opens up, as an entrepreneur, your flexibility has to be one of your main attributes. So for example, we did our mice studies at Birzeit University in Jerusalem, I mean in Ramallah, and or Birzeit. That was a very nice collaboration. It went very well. It didn't cost us much to do it, so they were helpful in that. So we look wherever there's things that you can do with the budget that you have, and now we're doing a dog study at Ohio State University. It's extremely expensive. I mean, you won't believe how much we're paying per dog to just do a study, on treating cancer. So you have to select where it's cost effective, but also where it ends up producing something, because it might be that you're doing something for very cheap, but no one accepts those results. So you have to really look at the options. We've also done studies in Rehovot on mice studies. Still much cheaper than the US. The US is crazy when it comes to doing studies. So having centers here, I think in East Jerusalem, and we were also talking about that in Nazareth last week. We had a conference with all the medical people. Having research centers, I think, can help, because frankly speaking, a lot of what's happening in the medical world right now is becoming a business, like doing clinical studies instead of being concerned about getting this drug or device into the market as soon as possible and helping out the startups. People are turning it into a huge business and a huge profit. So that's something that makes it more challenging for entrepreneurs.
Firas, how do you see it? Where are the opportunities to collaborate in the region for you?
This should be done, again, through people, not through platforms. I mean, ecosystem can grow up by trust and direct communication between people. So I believe that, again, we need to invest in people. We need to not to just export and import idea to East Jerusalem. We need to support the local minds, support their ideas to grow up, and then after that to try to build up Jerusalem reputation in innovation. This may take time. This may be not easy, but once it become well established and it become with a good reputation, it will attract the attention from not necessarily just from the Middle East, maybe beyond.
Okay, thank you very much. So we definitely need to build the reputation of Jerusalem as a center for innovation. I'm turning to the crowd now, the audience. Anyone has a question you want to ask this very experienced panel? If so, raise your hand. Do we have a brave soul who wants to ask a question? Going once? Going twice? Yes? Okay. No? You want to ask a question? You were pointed at. No? Okay, okay. Anyone else? If not, I'll continue asking questions. Go ahead, sir. Just introduce yourself, please.
Yeah, Rami Akilan from Hebrew U. So I think the panel is discussing things at the East Jerusalem side, but my question is how to really, the other side, allowing more integration of, we saw some more increase in student numbers, for example, but still at a certain level, you have this block, you have this, well, we live in a checkpoint city, so it is surrounded by all these checkpoints, but it is the same when you want to get to the next level. So what about the other side? How much they allow integration, how much they allow employment, how much they allow these ideas to start, build up, because they don't have the confidence of getting where you guys are discussing.
So you're pushing us a little bit and saying, okay, that's very nice what we can do on the east side of Jerusalem, but what do we need from the west side, basically, if I can say it that way? You want to answer, Amnon? Go ahead.
So let's talk about failure. We completely failed at my center at the Hebrew University in developing entrepreneurship programs for Arab students. And we failed initially because I said that we need to ensure that the Arab students take part in all our different programs. And we won't make any special program for them. And that's all nice, but they didn't come. So we understood that we need to create a safe space for Arab students initially, for the first moves in their entrepreneurial journey. To me, it was a shock to see them, to see the Arab students in those types of environments, feeling free, not being stressed by any of the different issues, if it's politics, if it's culture, etc. And that enabled them to develop their resilience to go on to the next steps and then to join the additional programs. So if I go back to the social infrastructure, I think that it's really important to be sensitive to this diversity and then to design programs that take that into consideration.
Anyone else from the panel wants to answer this question? Go ahead, Michal.
I'm not going to really answer, just to strengthen your point. We are working at, I'm working at IBM Research, which is mainly in Haifa, and we have also a location in Tel Aviv. And we encourage diversity, same as was discussed earlier today, ultra-Orthodox, Arabs, women. We encourage diversity. And we do have Arabs working at IBM Research in Israel, but not at the level, not the numbers we have expected. And I think what you said is really where the problem is. I mean, it might have started before university, but we want to hire the strongest candidates and to allow for Arabs to feel comfortably at our place. So we do a lot of activities to embrace diversity. But we don't have that many candidates. We don't have that many candidates who finished PhD in computer science. We don't have that many candidates who are doing master and want to work part-time at IBM. We do have people, but not enough. So there is a problem, and we are happy you are addressing that.
Yeah, maybe I'll add to that. I think that's a very important question you asked. I mean, and we can't be passive. We have to be proactive from the West Side, again, if I say it this way. We can't just say, okay, we're waiting for the candidates to knock on our door. We have to go and look for them actively. Many of us, and I can say from Sheba's side, we can do much more than we're doing. And I think that's one of the things we should take upon ourselves as the outcome of this discussion, is to do more, to bring in population from the East Jerusalem into our activities and integrate into the fully Israeli ecosystem. You want to answer on that as well, Anan? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've obviously been involved with both. I've, from a medical point of view, there was this organization in Jerusalem called Bio Jerusalem, which I attended, and I learned so much as a beginning entrepreneur when I left my job and went into the entrepreneurship world. So there's a lot of stuff that I learned from West Jerusalem, but I also became at some point an entrepreneurship instructor. And I taught a lot of students, whether here in Jerusalem or in Nablus or in Nazareth and other places. And one thing I kept hearing continuously is that it's great to find someone who speaks Arabic, who knows our culture, that is actually teaching. So many times there's a little bit of a cultural gap when an instructor who doesn't know the Arab culture deeply is trying to teach entrepreneurship and is telling people, take risks and do this and do that, and not understanding their cultural background, not understanding the whole thing about failure, for example. That's a huge thing because
and Anna, we just have to, we're running out of time, so
okay.
I want to give each of you one final sentence, a call to action. We have an outstanding audience here. We have people who really want to make a difference. What do we want people to walk out of here and do in 1 or 2 sentences? Go ahead, you're going first, Firas.
Well, a call of action. I think we need to start moving from the dialogue stage into acting stage and collaboration stage.
So move to acting and collaboration.
Yeah, this should be done on all levels. I mean, like a pyramid.
At all levels. Yeah. Thank you. Great. Anand, go ahead.
I think we need to create a culture of excellence. It's not enough just to have these degrees and show them off. You really need to have excellence. And today's world doesn't tolerate mediocre knowledge. So everybody needs to excel, whether you're a doctor or you're an entrepreneur, and you have to really work hard on training yourself, improving yourself constantly. It's not a one-step process. So it's a continuous investment in yourself, and that I think is very important.
Pushing for excellence. Thank you very much. Michal.
I believe in the importance of speed. So depth and excellency, but also speed and being able to benefiting from all that the online courses, technology can offer you in order to be a success. And I believe there's a lot today, much more than a year ago, and much more definitely than 10 years ago. And everybody, including us, but everybody needs to understand that the competition is really hard on bringing innovation, and speed is a key element.
So push for speed. Thank you. Amnon.
Agree with everyone? Let's use Jerusalem, East Jerusalem, as a guidepost for a potential future where Israelis and Palestinians work together to make the world a better place.
So Jerusalem as the way for, or the light in front of the crowd. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for this outstanding panel, for giving us some hope. Good luck. Thank you.